Hello everybody, Chris here from Truly Holistic. Now in this video, we are going to talk about the Divinity Ring. Okay, so this is a Crystalline Incorporated tool, which I'm a distributor of. And been playing around a lot with this particular tool of late. And it's kind of the ring that kind of gets the least attention. You know, we also sell the neutralization ring and the sun rings, and they kind of work well together because you kind of need the neutralization ring or a tensor ring to then go with the sun ring, because you want to create a compatibility of the field and structure field before charging it with the sun ring, because the sun ring is a charger. Now the Divinity Ring is also a charger. Okay, it doesn't have kind of the broadcasting ability. The sun ring is able to shine that energy out, so you can kind of broadcast that energy into a room, not just as a column of light. The Divinity Ring's more of a column of light, and like all the rings, they create a vortex. Okay, and the vortex is an energy that is pure energy. Okay, it cannot be redirected, cannot be manipulated or changed. It's just pure energy. Okay, and this particular tool, been really playing around with it, as I say, a lot lately. And what you'll notice here is it's a circle with a cross, and there's 4 quadrants. So I'm going to talk a bit about that. For anybody that already has the Divinity Ring, or anybody that's interested in the Divinity Ring, I'm going to explain some really new, innovative ways of using the Divinity Ring to get the most out of this particular tool. Now, like any of the rings, the Divinity Ring can be used, as I say, as a charger. So you can just place food over it, a plate of food or a glass of water or any substance, and it's going to charge it up with energy. Now, what I'm really going to explain, as I say, with the 4 quadrants, is that this tool is a balancer. Okay, and I've also mentioned it before that it's called a Divinity Ring because whatever you place on top of it, it's going to connect that substance to its higher aspect of itself. So you'll hear a lot about energy healers or people that are intuitive or sensitive to energy talking about connecting to my higher self, okay? Like with dowsing or channeling or getting intuition from that source of information or energy. But everything, we've got to remember that everything in this reality is a projection of consciousness. So whether that's a microbe, whether that's a food substance, whether that's me, we're all connected to a higher aspect of consciousness. So when we use the Divinity Ring, it connects that aspect of that substance or that microbe of me to my higher aspects of self. Okay, so you can see what it could do. Like, for example, let's just say you had a magnesium supplement, or let's say you were using a medicinal substance like cacao. Okay, cacao is very high in magnesium too, with a number of other goodies in it as well. And you wanted magnesium because you know the benefits of magnesium, right? Well, if you pop the cacao on top of this ring, or the supplement, let's say it's a supplement of magnesium, then connects that magnesium to a higher aspect of itself, okay? A realm or a reality that is beyond this one. So it's just going to really activate, okay, the divine aspect of that magnesium or of that cacao. And we know that the cacao has many divine medicinal properties to it, okay? It's connected to love in a number of ways, like Valentine's Day. That it's very good for the heart because of the mineral composition that it has, and a number of things. It's bound and connected with love, and love is the energy that we need to evolve ourselves. So, you can use this for a number of ways in regards to medicinal substances, whether that's a superfood like cacao or a herb or even medications that you're taking. You know, a big problem with medications is medications use it because they're so potent extracts that they have a very small therapeutic window where they actually are safe for people to take, because otherwise they'll kill you. That's why they have so many side effects with them, and you've got to take it within a particular dose. It's very different to nutritional supplements where usually you can take it 3 or 4 times more than what the bottle says in regards to like a vitamin or a mineral, because the body knows how to kind of get rid of the excess if it needs to or store it up. But with pharmaceutical drugs, that could kill you. So the aspect of those adverse effects, because sometimes we need some in some times in our life, get it out. Sometimes we have to rely on a pharmaceutical, not for long term, but for the short term, just to get us out of a tough space or tough spot. And but a lot of people worry about the side effects, and also they do get a lot of side effects, and they don't want that. Well, using a tool like this is going to help to neutralize the negative effects, because one thing we've got to remember is, as I said, those substances are connected to a consciousness, and the consciousness that's bound and connected to a lot of pharmaceutical medications is not a very good consciousness, and that's why we see a lot of dependency with people with pharmaceutical medications. Benzodiazepines is one example of that. Whenever we get in a dependency or an addiction to a substance, and that can also be through a medicinal substance like, let's say, cannabis, it's usually because of its consciousness aspect. The consciousness is taking over your vessel, and it's pushing your consciousness, your intelligence out of the way of it. So I see this all the time with clients that come to me with addiction issues or dependency issues here at Truly Holistic. So when you can connect that substance's consciousness to a higher level of itself, it can quite often change its behavior where it's not looking to create suffering with an individual. So that is one way you can use it. Now, the way we're going to really use it and explain the Divinity Ring in this session is that with the 4 quadrants, and I did a post the other day on a lot of my social media outlets, and about writing little intention notes in each quadrant of the Divinity Ring, and keep in mind things that that create balance. And the most obvious one, I guess, we could use is earth, wind, fire, and water, right? So you have earth, wind, fire, and water. Okay, so they are the elements, right? The 4 elements of Earth, or Mother Earth, let's say. You might want to use that. What about using winter, spring, summer, and autumn, or fall, wherever you are in the world? Now, one thing I've found, just through my own experience, but also seeing others, is that when we transition from season to season, I see a vulnerability because the body needs to adapt to this ever-changing season, that is merging into the next. So quite often people are vulnerable at those times to getting little colds and little infections and those sorts of things. So a way that you could combat that is by balancing yourself through the 4 seasons, is writing, as I say, a note of winter, a note of spring, note of summer, and autumn or fall. And then what you do is you write your name on a piece of paper and put it right in the middle, or a photo of you in the middle. And that's going to create an effect, so you don't need to have it on your person at the time. So it's a distance tool as well. And that's going to have an effect on balancing that, so it doesn't affect you when you transition from season to season. Now, other ways of using it is Wayne Gados, who's the creator of this from Crystal Incorporated, mentioned this one, that was space, time, energy, and momentum. So when we look at that, so we can have space, time, energy, momentum. Now, space is interesting because it's not about cosmos space. It's about creating and holding space, okay? We are space creators, okay? Because we are creators of reality, which is a space in itself, okay? And, I've talked about time before, about obviously when we evade time, we are connecting to our source self in a very abundant way. So we bring more of our true self here to create a space. And a part of that space, I guess, is your auric field. And the auric field is a measure of how connected you are to self. Because the one thing about the auric field doesn't, it expands and it comes in, it expands, it comes in, depending on whether you're connected to self or you're mind orientated. When we're mind orientated and we disconnect from our source self, our consciousness, our auric field shrinks in. But when we connect to our higher aspects of self, our source self, our auric field expands because our ability to create space here through our own creation is amplified if we're connected to source self. Okay, so you can see how it's a measure of how connected we are. Now, so when we evade time, we have a greater connection to source self, so therefore we can create a better space. So you can see how space and time are connected with each other. Now, energy, we need energy, right? And as I say, when we're evading the future, the past being present, we create space, but we also bring through the energy that is needed to then create here. Okay? So, and the last one is choice. Okay, you know, it's no matter, you can't just look at these things, you've got to decide to action on it, and that's what momentum is. And a lot of the time we do the space, time and energy well, especially as an energy healer or intuitive or a sensitive energy worker, but we struggle with the momentum aspect. So you balance all those together by placing them within the four quadrants. Another one is electrical, magnetic, magnetoelectric, and resonance. So again, you balance those four. But you can see that these infinite possibilities. For example, I'll give you an example that I've been doing for myself using this particular ring, is I want to see if I could improve my breathing. So if you've got a dowsing ability, so what you'd do is you'd find a chart or a diagram of the respiratory system, and then you'd ask your guide or your higher aspects of self, what four aspects of the respiratory system do I need to balance out? Where are the weak parts in regards to my breathing, in regards to my respiratory system? So what I found was there was four aspects of me. There was the nasopharynx, there was the bronchioles, okay, which are the tubes that go into the lungs, the primary bronchus, okay, and the lungs itself. So what I did there was write a note, nasopharynx in here, bronchioles here, lungs here, primary bronchus there, and I put my name there. And what I found, within an hour, I could breathe better. Within an hour, I could breathe better. Okay, and that will keep working for as long as you want to keep it within that ring. Okay, so it's wonderful, wonderful tool. And I'm learning more and more about it. Okay, and using it more and more, because as I say, when you have greater knowing and greater understanding, you'll find that you'll evolve as a consciousness, you'll evolve as a human, and you'll evolve by learning more things of how you can use these particular training wheels of your abilities to take you even further. And that's what I've found. So it's a wonderful tool to use it in that manner, and there's probably a number of other ideas that you could do. For example, if you've got a condition, if you've got asthma, you do it a similar way that I just explained, and finding what aspects of my respiratory system is what I need to balance to breathe better. And you'd find the four aspects of the weakest, put them in there and balance it out. If, let's say, for example, if you had high blood pressure, so you'd look at what were the four aspects in your life that is leading to you having to have high blood pressure. Because remember, high blood pressure is a mechanism of your body to push the pressure up because of it's needed, because the blood's thick. So straight away you maybe think of what four aspects do I need to maintain my blood to be thin and not thick. Okay, so you'd find those four things, and that might be 4 medicinal herbs, or that might be just 4 aspects of your anatomy that need to be worked on. You place them within the ring, in the 4 quadrants. Diabetes, the same thing. You know, one of them will most likely be pancreas, but you might want to put pancreas, you might want to put insulin, you might want to put digestive enzyme, because the pancreas creates and secretes digestive enzymes. And you know, it could be something else that you're having trouble in that area. It might be liver or something, and you put those 4 together. Or it might be blood sugar. So you could have pancreas, you could have insulin, blood sugar, and digestive enzymes, all in 4 all together to balance everything out. Again, I'm just giving you ideas in regards to this tool, because this tool is a balancer, and it also connects everything that you place on it to its divine aspect of itself, okay, which is going to give you more than you've ever. So, you know, when you're using superfoods and herbs, you're going to get more for your buck, because it's gonna have more power but less side effect to it, because it's going to create more of a compatibility to you, okay, and the consciousness of those substances are not going to become parasitic in its nature, and have their own agendas to take over your body or use your energy in a way that you don't like it, against your free will. So there are a number of wonderful ways of using this Divinity Ring. Now we sell these for 70 New Zealand dollars, and if you'd like to purchase one of them, or more than one, go to my website at trulyholistic.net. It's on my products page. And for anybody also that has the broadcasting system, a system I created it's a system that uses the Sun Ring, because the Sun Ring is a broadcaster. There's a page within that system where I mention about additional tools that can amplify even that system. And one of those is the Divinity Ring itself, because it has the ability to connect that substance while you're broadcasting it to a more divine aspect or connection to itself. But also you could use this healing ability of the 4 quadrants along with the broadcasting effect of the Sun Ring. Like, that would really be a very powerful combination. Anyway, until next time, catch you later.